Hello, and welcome to the Ocean News. My name is Ella Sedina, and I'm live from London studio. We bring you the latest developments from around the globe, alongside in-depth coverage of the stories. Let's dive right into the headlines. Demonstrators gathered at more than 200 events across 34 states to protest Republican-led redistricting efforts backed by President Donald Trump, which critics say are designed to weaken communities of color and secure GOP dominance in Congress. The largest rally took place at the Texas Capitol in Austin, where over 1,000 people joined Democratic leaders and activists, including Beto O'Rourke and Dolores Huerta, to denounce a proposed map that could give Republicans 5 additional House seats in 2026. Trump called the Texas plan a very simple redrawing, while Democratic lawmakers accused him of engineering a national power grab, with similar pushes underway in Missouri, Florida, and Ohio. The Democratic National Committee and dozens of advocacy groups begged the protests, vowing to resist what they described as an authoritarian takeover of U.S. democracy. The Israeli military announced Saturday it will begin relocating Gaza residents from combat zones to the south of the enclave, providing tents and shelter equipment through the Kerem Shalom crossing with UN and international aid partners. The move precedes a planned offensive to seize northern Gaza City, which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called Hamas's last stronghold. While Israel says the relocation is meant to ensure civilian safety, the UN and Palestinian officials warned it could worsen the already dire humanitarian crisis, stressing that no area in Gaza is truly safe. Defense Minister Israel Katz said battle plans are still being finalized as Israeli forces intensified strikes in Gaza City neighborhoods like Zaytun and Shijaya, where residents reported heavy shelling and explosions. West Virginia and South Carolina will deploy nearly 600 National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., after President Donald Trump federalized the city's police department and framed the capital as gripped by crime and homelessness. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey said 300 to 400 troops with equipment and specialized training would be sent, while South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster pledged 200, though reserving the right to recall them if Hurricane Erin threatens his state. The deployments follow Trump's order sending D.C. National Guard units onto city streets, despite Justice Department data showing violent crime in Washington hit a 30-year low in 2024. The White House has the troops will secure federal assets, deter crime, and may soon be authorized to carry firearms. First Lady Melania Trump urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to protect children affected by the war in Ukraine in a personal letter delivered by President Donald Trump during his Alaska summit with Putin, U.S. officials said Friday. In the letter released by Attorney General Pam Bondi, Melania wrote of the innocence of children and called on Putin to restore their melodic laughter and serve humanity by safeguarding their future. The appeal comes as Ukraine accuses Russia of abducting tens of thousands of children in what Kiev calls a war crime amounting to genocide, a charge Moscow rejects, saying it is protecting minors from conflict. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky thanked the First Lady for raising the issue during a call with Trump, while the UN has accused Russia of widespread rights violations against children since the 2022 invasion. Mass protests erupted in several Serbian cities late, with demonstrators clashing with police and vandalizing government and party offices. Interior Minister Ivica Dasic said the worst unrest was in Valjevo, where about 4,000 people set fire to Serbian Progressive Party offices in Belgrade. 1,300 protesters threw Molotov cocktails at police, while 500 gathered in Novi Sad. One officer was injured and 18 protesters were detained. The unrest follows anger over the 2024 Novi Sad railway station collapses that killed 15 people, fueling demands for early elections. Authorities warned that further violence would be met with stronger police action as tensions continue to rise. Residents in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, reported hearing at least 2 loud explosions early Sunday near a major power station. The exact cause of the blast remains unclear for now. Russia proposed a peace plan at the Alaska summit with US President Donald Trump that would see Moscow relinquish small occupied areas while Ukraine cedes large parts of its eastern territory, sources said. The plan discussed with Trump by Russian President Vladimir Putin includes Ukraine withdrawing from Donetsk and Luhansk in exchange for Russia freezing front lines in Kherson and Zaporizhia. Trump said he and Putin had largely agreed on land transfers and security guarantees, though Kiev has rejected giving up territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet Trump in Washington on Monday to discuss the proposals. Thousands of Christians marched in more than 50 Honduran cities on Saturday in a nationwide extensive prayer for Honduras, ahead of the November 30th presidential election. In Tegucigalpa, participants carried national flags while praying for peace and fair elections. The event, organized by the Episcopal Conference and the Evangelical Fraternity, comes amid rising political tensions, with the country's main parties trading accusations and fueling public distrust ahead of the vote. All markets are expected to open weaker after US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed in Alaska to pursue a full peace deal in Ukraine rather than a ceasefire, with Trump pausing plans for sanctions on buyers of Russian oil. Analysts said continued Russian supply flows should be bearish for prices, though the near-term impact will likely be limited. Brent crude closed Friday at $65.85 a barrel and WTI at $62.80, both down nearly $1 before the talks. Markets now await Trump's Monday meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and European leaders, with traders expecting crude prices to remain range-bound until concrete progress emerges. Those were the headlines. Stay with us as we delve into each story in greater detail after a brief pause.